how many kings of Israel were there? It's really interesting because there have been some parallels made between the number of kings combined of Israel and Judah with the number of presidents of the United States. So now, previously I've had this conundrum in my mind about how there could be only 42 kings of Israel and Judah. And this is the popular listing that you will find if you do a search. You'll see that people will list 42 kings, or else they'll list only 39 because they will exclude Saul, David, and Solomon. And then they'll list the kings of Israel and Judah together. So you just get 39 from those. But now let's look back at these first original three kings: Saul, David, and Solomon. Were there no other kings? Okay, in America, how is a president elected? He's elected by the popular vote of the people. That's not the way the Constitution set it up, right? There was a much better way to safeguard us against electing frauds. So, of course, the fraudulent... No, anyway, that's a segue. But I looked back in the Bible, and people were overlooking. Now, let's look at... let's see. Grover Cleveland. He was both the 22nd President of the United States and the 24th. His term was interrupted by Benjamin Harrison, the 23rd President of the U.S. But now, let's look over again at King David. Was David's reign as king continuous? No, it wasn't. His reign also was cleaved in half by a very short stint as king of his son Absalom. David fled, and the people, if you can look in 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 13, the people's heart is for Absalom. The people have chosen Absalom, right? So he's the king. Now, some people might say, well, that doesn't count because God didn't choose him, but God also didn't choose Saul, and everyone counts Saul as the first king of Israel. So Saul definitely was the king, the first king, and Absalom also was the king. He was the king, I think, for only a few days, but he was the king. So David's kingdom, so David is king both as number 2 and as number 4, and Absalom is number 3. Saul 1, David 2, Absalom 3, David 4. Okay, now once you add those in, the total number of reigns of a king is 44. Exactly the same number that we now have as presidents. Not presidential terms, but actual presidents. So that's how Obama becomes 44. So there it is. There's both 44 kings of Israel, and then their kingdom ended, and now we are on the 44th president. And that's interesting because there have been many prophecies that the United States will fail during the presidency of Obama or immediately thereafter, something like this, but that the United States will never be the same again. There will be a totally different type of nation, maybe under a different name, maybe under the same name, but that this is the end of the United States of America as we know it, with the usurper, President Barack Obama. This is the man from Modesto. Remind you, as always, to pray or be defeated.